Hey family, welcome back. Thank you so much for visiting. Sorry, it's been a while since I've been able to do a video. With my diagnosis, with a tumor in the back of my brain, it's induced a lot of headaches and migraines, and it's every day. So I've been learning how to manage and how to cope, and I've just been doing a lot of resting. So thank you again for all those who've been praying for me. So I am in Proverbs, and it's kind of hard to read Proverbs only because I know who wrote it, which is mainly Solomon. And there's so much wisdom in Proverbs. Like Psalms is like all songs of David, but then Proverbs is all wisdom. And now remember, God asked Solomon, what would you like? And he could have asked for anything: riches, health, women. Well, he already had all that, but he could have asked for anything, but he asked for wisdom, God's wisdom. And so he wrote Proverbs. And so you do need to read that. Psalms is for like shouting praise, because David was such, his father, Solomon's father, David, was such a songwriter and a singer and musician. So then it's a different tone in Proverbs. There's a lot of wisdom in it, but it's hard to read it because then you know what Solomon was like. You know what he did. He had 700 wives, 300 concubines. Each month, he would have a whole tribe. One tribe, there's 12 tribes, so one tribe per month would take care of his whole household. All the cooking and the cleaning for everybody. So it took a lot of money. Okay, we're talking about like 100. So to feed just one day, to feed his whole household, 10 fat cows, 20 pasture-fed, 10 fat oxen, 20 pasture-fed cattle, 100 sheep, and so on and so forth. So to hear him have so much wisdom in Proverbs, but then he didn't use it. He used it for a little bit, and then he started marrying the women, foreign wives, and these foreign wives brought in foreign gods. And each wife was like, hey, I need a shrine for my God. He would build that. Hey, I need a shrine for my God. He would build for that one. Hey, I need a shrine for my God. He would build for another one, right? So then he brought in idol worshiping. And God had told him specifically at the temple dedication, I am a jealous God. You cannot worship any other gods besides me. Because if you do, and when you do, I will pluck you out of my land. So after Solomon's reign, the 12 tribes were together. And they separated after that, and they were never ever together again. 10 tribes went up north to create the northern kingdom of Israel, and it was led by people who did not deserve the throne. And then the smaller two, Judah and Benjamin, created the southern kingdom of Judah. And so we know that in the end, the northern kingdom was taken over by Assyria, and they were scattered, and they were called the lost tribe. They never returned back to Jerusalem. But God allowed the smaller two, Judah and Benjamin, to be taken over by Babylon. And they were in exile for 70 years until Persia took over. And Persia, King Cyrus, had a good heart and allowed everybody to worship whoever they wanted to. And he allowed all the exiles to go back home. So they were able to come back to Jerusalem to rebuild. But when I read Proverbs, it makes me wonder, like, how could you have God's wisdom, but then be so wrong? And that goes to show about a lot of our pastors. Another pastor just got arrested on child sex crimes. And I already did a video a couple weeks back about exposing these fake pastors. So that's what I'm saying, is so many people can look the part, but that's what happens with wolves in sheep's clothing. They look like sheep, but they're a wolf inside. So I'm going to read this one part to you, and it's a warning, okay? I'm going to read the verses in Proverbs chapter 5, and then I'm going to read the footnotes, okay? So follow along with me in Proverbs chapter 5. So this is Solomon giving a warning to people about the dangers of following a prostitute. My son, attend unto my wisdom and bow thine ear to my understanding. Verse 2, that thou mayest regard discretion and that thy lips may keep knowledge. 3, for the lips of a strange woman drop as a honeycomb, and her mouth is smoother than oil. So it's not all about words. Forget what people say. It's about what they do. 4, but her end is bitter as wormwood, sharp as a two-edged sword. 5, her feet go down to death. Her steps take hold on hell. 6, lest thou shouldest ponder the path of her life. Her ways are movable, that thou canst not know them. Like, you don't know the intentions of these people, these foreign people, these prostitutes, and these witches, and those who the devil sent to destroy your life. 7, hear me now, therefore, O ye children, and depart not from the words of my mouth. 8, remove thy way far from her, and come not nigh near the door of her house. And here's the footnote. This adulterous woman is likely a prostitute. In Proverbs, a prostitute's charm is used as an example of any temptation to do wrong or to leave the pursuit of wisdom. This book includes many warnings against illicit sex for several reasons. One is that sexual immorality of any kind was and still is extremely dangerous. It destroys family life, erodes a person's ability to love, so true, and degrades human beings by turning them into objects of lust. It can also lead to disease, very true, and can result in children who are often neglected and made to feel like they are unwanted. Even more importantly, God's law forbids sexual immorality. So how could Solomon write that? But he had 700 wives and 300 concubines. Now, for them, kings, they were okay to do that. God obviously, when he was talking to Samuel about a king, because the people wanted a king, just like how the surrounding areas and the surrounding pagan people had kings. God did not want them to have kings. God wanted them to have judges, because he knew what would happen if they had kings. He even said it. This king is going to need a lot of work, and it's going to have your children become his servants. Like, are you guys sure you want this? But they wanted it. And one of the requirements that God said is make sure he follows my word, studies my word, and do not marry many wives. And maybe God should have been a little bit more detailed about that, but yeah, he married 700 wives and 300 concubines. Now that's what kings did. Kings kept concubines. You know what I mean? And so here he's specifically talking about, don't follow a prostitute. So yeah, maybe he didn't deal with prostitutes, but he had his little concubines, who was kind of a prostitute, and then all those wives. But he lost the kingdom after that. And there was so much animosity with the children. And it created tension, and that's discord. That's dysfunction. And that's not what God wants for us. So how could the most wise man of the Bible write all of these amazing things, but then he lost the kingdom, lost the 12 tribes, lost the throne, and he gave it to his son Jeroboam. Not Jeroboam. Jeroboam is the one who took the northern kingdom to Rehoboam, and Rehoboam was even worse than his father. So my message today for this is, if you're going to preach like that, you better be about it in your real life. And especially today, God does not play. God didn't play about marriages back then. That's why the throne eventually it fell apart, and it fell out of David's bloodline until Jesus came, and Jesus took the throne back. The only one who was honorable was Jesus Christ. The only one who deserves the throne is Jesus Christ. So we have to be about it. Whatever we preach, whatever videos we put out, whatever we speak, we have to be about it in our real life, so that God can bless us and we don't fall apart like all these pastors, bringing so much shame to God and bringing so much shame to the Christian name. Don't forget who you represent. It's so much more than yourself, your family, your children. It's about God, and bringing all those who don't believe in God back to God. Until next time, God bless. Bye bye.